You do not have to be educated to succeed. So you can quit beating yourself up about your lack of education.
It is not about getting in beast mode. It has to do with life and death. You're constantly being tested by life, attempting to offer you a way out, attempting to provide you with a reason not to attend. It is imperative that you adopt a daily presence mindset in your life. Whatever life throws at you, we have an obligation to enter the Coliseum of life. Get ready for combat. What you're going through doesn't matter to me. Whatever life throws at you, it's up to you to discover your new 100%. Hunts are part of being a beast. What's exciting for them is the hunt. They enjoy watching the gazelles race, and then they're off. Since real lions enjoy going on hunts, they are equally in love with the procedure as the reward. And some of you are just in it for the score. You're not a fan of the procedure. You have no love for the procedure. Until it's time to do what beasts do. Everyone wants to be a beast. You're a beast. Allow other people to praise you on your abilities, strength, speed, intelligence, and success. When people are talking about you, that's when you really are a shark. It's all about taking a risk. It's about pushing yourself and putting your all into it. I realize that occasionally people claim to be telling the truth, but you can't be a lion and not know the laws of the jungle. Remain true to your promise never to return to the life you previously led. Maintain your dedication to raising your children, building wealth for yourself, and becoming a more responsible person. Maintain your resolve to lead a life of service, to remain a ruler and behave as such, and to maintain control and dominance over all aspects of your life. Life knocks you down and tries to land on your back. But if you can look up, you can get back up, which is one of the reasons I mentioned on one of my tapes. Your motivation will enable you to stand back up. Every day you will experience knowing rejection. But if you are hungry enough, the world will find a way to accommodate you. You're afraid of effort. We're all being tested. And that road to success is a bumpy road. Do you believe that this mindset is now yours? In beast mode, there isn't time for you to back off. You must move forward. You must exert more effort. Please move out of my path. That's the main point of this. Thus, you must learn that you had better get tough when things get rough. Simple is not relevant. Simple is ineffective. You cannot advance by deceit. You must work to get higher. Not everyone is prepared for the top position. Not every person belongs at the top. The body will accept the instructions of the mind if you're experiencing a mental breakdown. You've got to understand the mind is a terrible thing to waste. And if the mind isn't right, then the body won't be right. You must realize that a connection is necessary. The relationship between righteousness, the relationship between fighting, the link between your honor, integrity, strength, and ability, and faithfulness in yourself. Everything in this place counts, including everything you do right now. You can't wait for another person to encourage you to keep going. You must exert yourself. You were meant to fight and live from birth. Put in a little extra effort at work today and every day of the rest of your life if you are employed. Easy is not something you can accomplish. There is no easy in success. There is no easy pushing that weight. There is no easy running that extra mile. If it's easy, why are you doing it? How are you developing if it's simple? How are you going to perform at your best if it's simple? Pay the price now and reap the benefits later. Avoid requesting it. Accept it. You own it. Get it now. Make it work for you if you think the possibilities are real. You now need to comprehend this as well. It will not be simple. It is not going to be an easy task. There's never enough to give. You must be prepared to make sacrifices. You must be prepared to suffer harm. You must be prepared to shout. Do whatever it takes to keep moving ahead. Keep trying to live your life. Don't you give up on those reps. Don't give up on giving it what it takes to get the most. Some of you may be asking yourself right now, why is this guy yelling? I'm creating noise, not shouting, to frighten away your justifications. I'm speaking up because it's possible that weakness is unaware of your strength. I know that if I can shout something out, I will. Things won't be able to stop me. I will not allow anyone to tell me that I am unimportant. I will not allow this establishment to inform me that I am without business. The strength, passion, voice, and love, everything that I have inside, I give it to you. I give it to the listener. I gave it to the weightlifter. I gave it to the marathon runner. I hand it to the swimmer, to the Zumba dancer. I give it. It makes no difference who you are or where you're from. You must own up to the fact that you need to improve when the time comes. You must become more resilient. You must become more resilient because nothing can destroy you that did not originate from you. Make the most of who you are. Become the greatest of the greatest. You have it. So don't let anything or anyone stop you. Everything is within you. Take it with you. I adore it. Enjoy it. Put your all into it. And please, 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 be productive. Remain resilient in it. Make no excuses. And go about your business.
If you do not have a vision board, if you don't have a dream list, I am telling you, you are complicating your process to getting what you want in life. You're complicating it because you are missing, because maybe nobody ever told you, or maybe you don't think that it applies to you, but a simple principle of success is that it has to be written down somewhere. Oprah was on TV for 30 years talking about these vision boards. Oprah, she got $1 billion.
When that alarm clock goes off at 4 or 5 in the morning, your mind says, no, you just say, this is what we do. Now that's what we do. Because there is a certain amount of pain, and I'm not talking about physical pain, in getting to where you want to go. And you don't have to break yourself off. The psychological toll that comes from having to do something you don't want to do to achieve your goals. The thing that still scares me the most about being 297 pounds and trying to be a Navy SEAL is that I could have spent the rest of my life in that situation, when I thought I was trying hard. The world's scariest thing is that I thought then, 297 pounds, working for Ecolab, spraying for cockroaches, making $1,000 a month. A few years later, I realized that was not even close to my full potential, which I had believed to be at that point. 106 pounds lighter, a graduate of the Navy, and we're still in training to do all these other things. When I look back on that, I realize that I really tried. People need to realize that until we put in the effort, we have no idea what is inside of us. And by really trying hard, I mean being fixated on the idea that, hey, this is my new normal. Well, this isn't always fun as my new normal. Fun isn't always the goal. At that point, you know you're trying. Is that? And so people listen to us that maybe are at 20% or 30%, about, yeah, I'm going hard, I'm going max. And yet they're not seeing the results. I mean, how do they really get themselves to get over that? Each of us is fighting a war against our own minds. Every single one of us. That's all there is to life. Your brain is the most powerful thing in the universe. It might operate in your favor or against you. And instead of dwelling on everything that went wrong, everything you lacked, everyone who called you names, and everything you were doing repeatedly, you began to think, wait a minute, I just visualized this, and now I can take it to the next level. Considering that the visualization helped you pass the seals. Yes, it did. And I could see the finish line. So when I was 297, and I was all fat and out of shape, and I couldn't run a quarter mile, and I was eating boxes of donuts and drinking milkshakes, I imagined, what would it feel like? Man, I was, for a split second, one of the 22 guys who graduated. I saw this TV segment where these guys were training to be Navy SEALs. Not only could I not swim well, but I couldn't even. The sea frightened me. Man, all this. However, it states at the very end that there are 22 men. A commanding officer is up there, and he delivers this amazing speech. I thought, man, I wonder. I thus began to imagine myself as the 23rd man wearing these dress whites, sitting there with these guys, receiving that Navy SEAL training, graduating from this Navy SEAL program. God, I thought to myself. I thus placed myself there. I thought, man, that feels so good. I ranked myself at 297 pounds, unable to perform any of the tasks performed by these outstanding men. Man, that would change my life, if I could feel that. That was something I could just sense. 1. It is momentary in nature. After receiving your certificate and crossing the stage, what comes next? But at the time, I was unaware of that. I had the impression at the time that I would always be in that same place. Well, man, I thought to myself, if only I could feel like that. If only I could experience that. And what was it you so desperately wanted to feel? No, triumph. My goal was to triumph. Not in the sense of beating someone else. That wasn't the point. I just wanted to go the distance. Everything in my life. When something gets hard, I quit. If it was reading, that's where I gave up because, as you can imagine, I wasn't very good at either. I couldn't learn as quickly as you could. I gave up because I had to work harder than you. I gave up because I wasn't very good at things. I'm not very good at this, If only I could go that extra mile, that extra distance, just to finish, man. I'm eager to get done. I want to experience triumph. For me, finishing was more important than winning. So I said, what do you know? My life would be different if I could experience what these guys do. But what I realized, the best feeling I had was when I was by myself trying to lose this weight. It had to go in less than 3 months, literally. 106 pounds in 3 months or less. I felt like I was winning the fight just by throwing myself into it. It was not about enlisting in the Navy SEALs. Being the 23rd man in that chair wasn't the point. It wasn't about losing 106 pounds. I realized, man, just by going to war with myself every day and setting these challenges and goals and these obstacles, these insurmountable obstacles, losing 5 pounds was something I was proud of. I dropped 10 pounds, then 50. My confidence grew the more I accomplished. And then the more I gained confidence, the more I realized these guys can't do what I'm doing right now. I had no coach, had no trainer, had no money. I had no idea how to get in shape. I had no idea that this was what I was doing. I was merely at work. All I was doing was making a sacrifice. And then because of that, a variety of tools appeared. But if I hadn't forced myself into a very awkward situation, I never would have discovered these tools. Everyone seeks toughness. Everyone wants it. However, we search for it in a cozy setting. Toughness is not what you find in a cozy setting. You who are listening to this won't find it. I promise those of you who hear it. So how does a lion rise to the position of jungle king? His way of thinking. You have heard it said that lions are the king of the jungle. But have you ever stopped and asked yourself, why? If he isn't the biggest, how can he be the king of the jungle? Among the largest is most likely the elephant. That's a cheater, so he can't be the fastest. He isn't the most intelligent person. Therefore, he isn't the tallest, fastest, or wisest. So how does a lion rise to become the jungle's ruler? What makes the lion different from the other creatures that acknowledge him as the jungle's ruler? His way of thinking. The only distinction between an elephant and a lion is that it is the mindset of a lion. A lion assumes an elephant is going to be ate when it approaches us. I'm trying to give people a different thought process of life where failure, hell, disappointment, discomfort is a great learning tool. And many people don't understand that. But it's these few moments in life that you have. For me, I constantly discuss it. Round 14 went to Rocky. The 2-minute and 13-second video of Rocky rising to his feet after Apollo knocked him down. In that one clip, I saw what I wanted to be during a very difficult period in my life. Furthermore, a man did not win. The man didn't succeed in everything he attempted. It was a man who, when knocked down, would get back up again. Upon realizing that those 2 minutes and 13 seconds had transformed my life, I became aware of something that I had to be in this world. As for me, I constantly discuss it. Round 14 went to Rocky. The 2-minute and 13-second video of Rocky rising to his feet after Apollo knocked him down. In that one clip, I saw what I wanted to be during a very difficult period in my life. Furthermore, a man did not win. The man didn't succeed in everything he attempted. It was a man who, when knocked down, would get back up again. Upon realizing that those 2 minutes and 13 seconds had transformed my life, I became aware of something that I had to be in this world. Everyone has a tale to tell. We don't post it on Facebook or Twitter. We use social media to share our lovely lives. Everybody has a dungeon. All I'm willing to do is discuss mine. It's not possible to sample mental toughness. You experienced it daily. You return to your insecurities whenever hardness strikes, and you don't know what it is. It might be different for you than it is for me. You then return to your fears and seek solace there when you feel like that. And everyone searches for that cookie that their mother used to give them during difficult or unwell times. We search for a husband or our wife. We look for comfort. It's in those moments you must retrain your mind to adopt a different perspective on health. It's a mental requirement that you be aware of your progress. These days, when I enter a room, I am aware of the hours, years, and decades I invested in. That's not what's written on the wall. It's not a wall-mounted trophy. You don't wear a medal around your neck. It doesn't matter to me how you view David Goggins, because I discovered the one piece I was missing during my journey. Cars, I assumed it was a female. I mistook it for cash. I believed it to be everything. The one thing I was lacking was the bravery to confront my own shortcomings. Where I got my work ethic from was the hours I had to spend learning this. I didn't want to simply move by when you sit down and realize you're not smart and you have a disability, but you still want to be at the top of your class. I came to the realization that, although I put in 10 hours more a day than the valedictorian, I could still learn, work hard, and beat him in school. What kind of strength does that yield? Do you know? You know I caught you when you sat down to study for an hour like the valedictorian. I work hard enough to catch up to you. That's at a kitchen table where David Goggins truly came to be, with 20 empty spiral notebooks. They were then filled, and when you can go through that, I still have them in my storage unit. You go through your life's spiral notebooks, and you understand how I came to learn this. This is not credible. Not until I became ill. My life then became very quiet. In 39 hours, I went from running 205 miles. I was unable to get out of bed. It was my life that was stolen. I then came to the realization that I had not given my life any thought. Despite all of my accomplishments, there was still no end in sight. Even though I had won a race in life, I would not even get my medal. I would continue. I would hop in the car and drive away. When I started figuring out life, that I was leaving so much in the tank. Once I realized, my God, man, I was this dumb, fat kid being bullied. And now, after losing 106 pounds in less than 3 months, I weigh 180 pounds. Acquire the skills of reading, doing this, and doing that. I thought, I need more. I was putting everything into my mind. I never stopped to say, oh my God, you're here, and you came from this hell. It had been 8,000 miles since my beginning. However, you're still paying $7 a month if you never find out. That quiet place, then, that location is all by yourself. It's those times, hours, years, decades, when you're all alone and caught up in life. When life is choking you and holding your throat, and you're sitting calmly and trying to figure it out, you're not panicking. You are not giving up. You do not discard the towel. You're suggesting that this can be avoided. And that's when you win, when you realize that life has you in a vice and you can release yourself from it. At that point, you succeed. It was more difficult to get there than to get through it. You're aware. That's life in its entirety, dude. That experience is what shapes who you are.
Listen, man, you've got to write this information down. Let me tell you what the reason writing it down is important. Because it plants the information in your subconscious. That means write exactly what you want. Don't deviate, be clear. If you want 4 cars, it's nothing wrong with wanting 4 cars. If you want 3 houses, you can have 3 houses. Why not?
The worst thing you can do after failing or making a mistake is to be critical of yourself. In the end, life can be incredibly painful. We can go through grief, anxiety, and sleeplessness from heartache and adversity that keeps happening again. It is inevitable. It is self-compassion that gives us the power to face our failures, to face our fears, to confront our fears, to accept the aspects of ourselves that we dislike, and triumph in the end. Seek a means of getting up when you're down. I have experienced that. I experience it just like everyone else. But here on Earth, I have a job to do. You also do this. The true test of personal development mentally, emotionally, and spiritually occurs when you fall. How you manage it. That's where the development happens. Assess your current situation. Examine it and evaluate yourself. Evaluate the circumstances and yourself. Why did you come here? Which part did you play? We are all self-made. But those who are successful won't acknowledge it. If you want to begin to move, you've got to clear your mind of all the unnecessary luggage and baggage that's weighing us down. I can speak from personal experience when I say that I am aware of my life prior to turning 55. I have experienced what it was like to give up. I am aware of my life circumstances when I was careless. I am aware of a time in my life when I had no aspirations or objectives, like I had no desires at all. I am aware of my life's experiences. I'm putting in 120 now, sweetie. You worked 120 hours. It has an impact on not just your life, but also the lives of your family members. It has an impact on your pal's life. It impacts the lives in your community. What I'm saying, are you hearing me? I'm putting you to the test. You have a challenge from me to move past where you are. I'm challenging you to stop settling. I'm challenging you. You have a challenge from me. Stop accepting the life that was bestowed upon you. I'm putting out my best effort here. Can you hear me? Trying is insufficient. You won't get there by trying. Potential is what we need. We require an application. We must be committed. We require inspiration. We must practice self-control. We must realize that work needs to be done. Additionally, find a way to complete the task even if you are not motivated to. I will return, and as a result, I will become stronger and better. You must declare your beliefs and stand for these things. You must learn self-compassion if you hope to prevail in the battle for your future. Face the conflict. Embrace rather than avoid challenges. And you never give up on who you are. Never give up on who you are. When you catch yourself making negative comparisons to other people and self-criticism, try to draw motivation from their accomplishments and assets. Rather than sensing danger, you're defending your aspirations. You're defending mental tranquility. You are advocating for well-being. You'll stop at nothing to achieve what you truly desire. The lion is the most revered animal in the jungle by the animal kingdom. As you can see, lions hunt primarily at night and during storms. They hunt during storms because it is difficult for prey to see or hear them due to the wind and noise. That's the lion's mentality. And it's all mentality. Lions are fearless and have complete control over their own fate. I'll need you to take control of your territory by adopting a lion's mentality. It's not necessary to be the largest. Being the smartest person is not necessary. It's not necessary to be the fastest. But you must think like a lion. Love yourself for your grit. With a trap you push out, be loving. It is your responsibility to maximize everything for which you have devoted so much effort. What kind of thinking is a lion? Bravery without fear. Courage. Take the lead. Never ready to give up. And will battle until the end. Do you have an alliance mentality, and are you prepared to work? Are you prepared to dig? You got to fight. You must exert yourself. You must offer everything you possess. So give it your all. All you need is the will, courage, and strength to pull through. Perhaps you're just drowning in bills and debt. Perhaps it's time to defend something you love or believe in, but that people don't understand. Continue. Remain persistent. Refuse to give in. Show bravery. Have no fear and pursue your goals with abandon to see them come to pass. Perhaps you have made numerous attempts, but to no avail. Perhaps you've lost hope because you've spent years searching for your opportunity without success. Let me share something with you. Lions only hunt 2 hours a day and sneak the other 16 to 20 hours. A lion realizes that in those 2 hours, they must give it everything they've got, and that everyone should stay out of their way since they'll destroy everything in their path. You must continue your hunting. You must persevere in your fight. Nothing is guaranteed to be profitable today. Though there are opportunities if you persevere, the only thing that is certain is failure. If you give up, you risk missing out on your next chance to live the life you say you desire for yourself. It won't be simple or easy. There will always be more to achieve. You must be willing to hurt and sacrifice as well as be willing to give whatever it takes. Continue moving forward. Keep trying to live your life. Show courage. The lion is courageous. Lions are 100% willing and able to face pain and danger, because it could endanger their lives. Lions cannot afford to doubt their abilities. How would your life be different if you possessed the lion's bravery? What could you achieve? What effort did you make? What if you made the choice to have faith in your abilities and abilities? To what extent could you go? If you only had faith in your own abilities, how far could you go? What distinguishes you from the group? When an obstacle comes your way, you're going to overcome it. You're going to overcome. You're going to rise. If you trust yourself, it will come to you at the right time in which you need it. I am far too far behind schedule to be happy with my current situation. Prey is not lying in wait to be devoured. Prey exhibits unwavering bravery, running, jumping, and any other action required to survive in the presence of a lion. The fact that the prey puts up a fight does not stop the lion from fighting. Should you keep fighting against hardship, how would your life be different? Which dreams would you fulfill? What obstacles could you overcome if you persisted in your fight? Even though there are challenges in life, your outcomes are your responsibility. You know what's best for you, and only you know what it requires to live the life you want to live. You are enough, and you have what you need to succeed. You are sufficient. You are capable of greatness. You are more powerful than you could have ever imagined. I want to see you working because this is the present. I want you to delve. I wish for you to sense it. I want you to have difficulty. I desire for you to suffer. I desire that you bleed. It's time for you to fight, and I want that. Take a stand, make an impression, and walk out. You have to acknowledge that reaching your desired goals requires grit, passion, and perseverance. There's a vast, vast universe out there beyond the sky. What action are you going to take now? Show courage. Never give up. Only you know what path to take in each moment of your life. You must approach the path with bravery. Lions have hearts, which is why they never give up. As the lion is the dominant animal in the jungle, it is impossible for them to display weakness. Lions don't give an explanation. They carry out. and they are prepared to die for their dignity, regardless of how greatly outnumbered they are. Have you got what it takes to persevere? Are you willing to go above and beyond? Perform one more push-up, take one more lap, raise that additional weight. But what if you refuse to give up? Maybe they know more than you do. Their speed might surpass yours. Maybe they are larger than you. However, you will prevail because you possess a lion's mentality. You won't lose your position. You are not going to lose. You will not be detached from your purpose. There's a lion within you, and you will have all that you desire. But because of my mindset, I rule my jungle. Everyone is brought to the ground. Regardless of your level of toughness, you will inevitably fall, and sometimes that fall will be very hard. Nevertheless, since you are lying on a hard surface, I can assure you that it won't move. It is therefore necessary for you to get up, rise above it, and begin moving. Sometimes you have to take a step back, retreat inside, practice meditation and prayer, refuel, take a break, clear your mind, and then return to examine the situation from an angle. Don't operate while you are under the spell of the effect of what's going on. Give up on half of the work. Give it your all. Don't settle for 50%, 60%. Look, come to a stop. Complete it correctly or don't do it at all. Can you hear me? Execute it correctly. There are a lot of people on the streets right now. They are uncontrollably angry, aggressive, anxious, afraid, and insecure. You must have self-respect to confront it and come up with a solution. You must ascertain what your next course of action is. How are you going to exceed it and drive it to that point? How will you make the most of your time? To what extent will you devote your energy to this craft? Everything that you possess, everything that you are, everything that you do, as though it's 78. And what I need you to do is I need you to look at yourself in the mirror and say, come on, quit, stop playing. I should be able to see what my life would be like if I put my all into it. Remain committed. You must keep moving forward. You must continue to fight the good fight. You must set aside your excuses because they will not help you succeed. Making excuses won't grant you the authority you require. You must be prepared to go against the grain. You must be prepared to use your willpower to assert your control over this situation, despite the circumstances. This won't depress me, I promise. I refuse to allow this to destroy me. How long are you going to stay down after you're knocked down? When you lose your job, when you lose that loved one, regardless of if it's your husband, your wife, your child, whatever it is, can you experience the pain and suffering caused by that loss? The strongest moment in your life, no matter what you're going through, is when you're at your most vulnerable. I want you to close your eyes and visualize yourself saying, I forgive myself, and I love myself without conditions. I would have performed better if I had known better. You will need to become an expert in the muscle of self-compassion if you want to win the battle for your future. When you are so far down that hole, you looking up and you don't see any light, but yet you know there's an end to this darkness. That's when you'll find out just how strong you really are. Simply keep going forward. If you feel like you're going through a lot right now, wait until tomorrow, if the day will come. Examine the individual seated beside you. If you ever meet certain people, look at people everywhere, and consider if what they're going through is significantly worse than your own. Sincerely, you can always count on there being others who are experiencing far worse hardships than you are. Keep in mind the past, but don't let it consume you. I ask you to forgive yourself for every mistake you have made up until this point. Freedom is a result of forgiveness. You're going to have people to do things for you. Things are going to happen to you. And the most important thing to do is to harness your will and let it go. And move to develop, that you can continue living your life. It makes no difference what occurs to you. What counts is how you plan to address it. It's a process that requires some slight pain to fully comprehend what it means to be strong. Thus, keep holding onto your dreams. Keep pursuing your aspirations. Never give up on who you are. Everybody has two people. Everybody has two people. I'm not calling you insane either. Our voice is easy to understand. That is the voice that everyone adores. That's that incredibly cozy voice. That's your mother reassuring you that everything will work out. Don't care how good you are. Just loves you. Just loves you no matter how messed up you are in life. That one voice, then. We walk very far away from this other voice that says, hey man, you aren't doing shit. We thus try to fully eliminate this voice from our minds. And this is the land where we live. Thus, you need to adjust the volume of this voice over here first. The voice saying unpleasant things to you. That something is saying, you know what, man? In our minds. You're not doing shit, dude. I'm not advocating for self-deprecation. I am telling you to listen to the facts. Nor does the truth lie in the 20%. The truth is whispering, look, man, in this other part of your brain, you're wasting a bunch of percentages here. We have 80% more that we're not tapping into because in this other 80% is suffering, pain, failure, self-doubt, darkness, and then a whole bunch of light. But you have to go through all of this to reach this light. Many of us are aware of that. I'm able to come over here. However, this place is far better than the previous one because I must endure this unpleasant journey, which lasts from 20 to 100 and is not enjoyable in between. Thus, we chose to relocate here. Everyone then asks, how do we do that? You're very skilled at doing that. You are aware that it isn't a trick of magic. Nothing to discuss. That is a magic trick. Everything has reverted to a very basic, we just have to do mentality. Like breathing. Breathing returns to normal, as if we are unaware of what we are doing it. That's how you must live your life.